Hi, so welcome to the next week of the 50 Stitches Crochet Along, and this week we're doing the corner to corner. So the corner to corner is a really quick and easy stitch to make up. It's really popular for things like baby blankets or really large blankets, as it really makes up really quick and it's really easy. It's also popular for making graphgan blankets because it's really easy to change colour and it comes out in these nice square-like blocks, which makes it really good for plotting out a picture on a graph and then transferring it into crochet. And it works up absolutely brilliantly well. So it creates these blocks, and each block is made of 3 double crochet and a turning chain. Now for this, the turning chain does not count as a stitch, and is actually, we use it as the foundation row for the following block. So it's called the corner to corner because instead of making it in rows, we make it on the diagonal. So you start off with this single block and then you move across the diagonal, adding 1 block in each row. So then you make it until these 2 sides are the width you want. You end on your 2 corners and then you start decreasing back to the opposite corner. So it's made corner to corner and so quick and easy to make up. Okay, so what do we need? For this stitch we need a 4mm hook, and we're going to make 10 rows of blocks. So we start, let me just zoom in a little bit. So we start by chaining 6. Five, 6. Now we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook, and then double crochet in the last 2 chains. And the best part about this stitch is you don't need stitch markers because you're just working into the turning chain of the block below. So it's really easy to keep track without any kind of markers. Okay, so there's your first block. I'm going to turn it. So there's your turning chain in the end. Now we turned. So for every row we create a new block, which will kind of hang off the end here, and then the second block will go into the turning chain of the block below. Just grab some more yarn. So for the second row blocks we chain another 6. And this is how you start every single row. 6, and then double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. And 1, and then double crochet in the other 2 chains that are left. 2 and 3. Now to join to the block from the row below, we're going to slip stitch into that turning chain. So there's your 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and this is your turning chain. So just pop your hook underneath it, pull through, and then pull through there, and that is your slip stitch. So now we need to make the second block of this row. So now we chain 3. So if you're starting a new row, you chain 6. If you're slip stitching into the top of a block, you only chain 3. And then we do another 3 double crochet into that turning chain. So 1. So you just go into the turning chain and you just bring your yarn around it. So you're working on top of the turning chain from the block below. More yarn. So turning chain, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet made in there. There we go, and that's row 2. So there's your corner. That was the first block we did, and now we just completed row 2. I'm going to turn. I'm going to do exactly the same. So at the start of the row, you chain 6. So we're creating the turning chain that we need from the for the next block to go into, and then we're creating the chains we need to do the double crochet. Okay, so in the fourth chain do your double crochet, one, and then the other two chains that are left, double crochet each of those. Okay, so now into the first block of the row below, go into that turning chain and slip stitch. And you can see it's creating a really nice smooth edge. That's lining up very nicely. So now we're into slip stitch with chain 3, and then 3 double crochet into the bottom of that turning chain. 1, 2, and 3. More yarn. And that's the second block of that row. So now we're going into the next block of this row. We slip stitch in, chain 3, and you just repeat this pattern for the entire width you need. So you'll be making 10 rows of blocks for this square. So what do we do when we want to change colour? Well, you change colour in the same way as everything else, but only change colour at the end of a block. And you can change just for single blocks, or you can do entire rows, it's entirely up to you, but you change in the same place each time. So at the end of your row 3, your third double crochet over that block, I should say, this is where you change colour. So I'm just going to drop that, bring my second colour in here. There we go. And I'm just going to attach it on there and pull through. Then I'm going to turn, do my chain 6, and then carry on the pattern the same as before. So just double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and in the next 2 as well. Oops, I dropped a bit there. 2, and then you just carry on as normal. So it makes a really clean change. Once that's weaved in, it won't be very obvious at all. And that is all there is to changing colour. So always change at the end of that third double crochet of a block, and you'll do just fine. So you carry on with this until you've got your row 10. Yes, because we're going to have 10 rows of blocks, but it's actually going to be made over 20 rows because it's on the diagonal. So I just show you what I mean. Bring this back in for a second. So you're going to be doing 10 rows across, so there's going to be 10 rows on each side. But because it's made on the diagonal, this brings you to 10 rows. For the decrease, we do another 10 rows. So you'll end up with 10 blocks on each side. Okay, remember you're making it like this. So although you got 10 rows to there, you then got to decrease again. So it's 20 rows in total, but you get 10 blocks on each side by doing it that way. So how do you make your decrease? So here's one I prepared earlier. So I've now done my 10 rows for my increase. We've now got to decrease. So how do we do that? We do that by slip stitching. So I'll zoom back in. So here's the top of your double crochet from the last block that you made, and there's the turning chain. So in the top of that first double crochet, we slip stitch into there, and across the next two we slip stitch those as well. And the slip stitch just moves your yarn across without adding any height to the stitch. You can see that's not made much height at all, and it's a great way of just repositioning yourself. Then we go into the turning chain, slip stitch there, and then carry on as normal. So chain 3 into the turning chain and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. So if I just pop that down. So this is the corner of your work, and we've just created a block that will become part of this side here. So we've stopped increasing anything, and we're just going to carry on down. And we slip stitch into that one, chain 3. So you carry on this the same with the increase, but you're going to stop a block short. So the very last block, instead of increasing it, you're just going to stop and then turn. So I'll just go down this row, repeating the pattern, chain 3, and then 3 double crochet into the turning chain, slip stitch, chain 3, the turning chain. So as you can see, it's just a really repetitive pattern, but it works up really quickly. It has a lovely texture, and if you're colour changing, you can create some beautiful patterns. If you've ever seen the graphgans that people make, some of them are absolutely amazing, and it's all done with corner to corner usually. You can do graphgans with half double crochet or single crochet as well, but corner to corner is definitely one of the more popular stitches for those. Oops. As you can see, you don't need any stitch markers for this because you're just going into turning chains. Almost there. So, got 2 blocks left. So we slip stitch into that one, and this is going to be our last block of this row, and that brings us on level with this corner. And that's what we want, because we want to now make that edge. Okay, so then we just slip stitch into the turning chain, and that's it. We turn. So you can see what's happening now. We've got the beginnings of the next edge of the square. We've got this nice straight edge down here. So there's the bottom edge, side, and now we're making this top edge. So we need to decrease again. So there's the top of the 3 single double crochet we just made, and we're just going to slip stitch across again. 1, 2, 3 slip stitches into each of the double crochet, then you slip stitch into that turning chain, and then just carry on. And that is all there is to the corner to corner. So it's just remembering to decrease to make this edge and the slip stitch across, and then you stop once you've made a block level with the row below, and that will create your decrease down. And so you just carry on doing that until your final corner, and then just tie off as in the normal way. So for the edging, for your single crochet border, it's really simple because each block is 3 stitches. So in each block you need to make 3 single crochet. When you get to the corners, what was I doing? There we go. You add an extra stitch for each corner, so you'll end up with 32 stitches on each side. So I always count that corner stitch for each side. So it's 124 single crochet in total. So for every other block, you'll be crocheting it, doing your single crochet on top of the double crochet, and in the next block you'll be making it into the side for double crochet. Put 3 into each, and that is it. That is your border. So that's the corner to corner. I can't wait to see your squares. Please let us see them on Facebook. And as always, if you have any questions, please do come across the Facebook group. I'm always happy to answer. And I hope you enjoy it. So I will see you for next week's square. And bye for now.